Ah, okay. So we got good. Hello. I think we got good lighting today. I don't know what I did, but I'll try to do it again. Hi. So today we're going to talk a little bit about retirement planning and my retirement plans. And for those of you who are over 50, you might, or even over 40, you might want to listen in because it's going to be interesting. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. I hope I'm pointing. I don't think I'm putting in right place. Subscribe button down there on this side. And go ahead and like this video. My name is Nneka, and I am a Trinity born sage and oracle. I am 50, and I am looking towards my retirement. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. I was inspired to do this video by Our Rich Journey. Yes, they were talking about how much it takes to retire, and I think, I got hooked in because they were bantering around $5 million. I'm like, that's a lot more than I have. So let's chat. So first of all, I want to just chat and say like I said, I'm 50. And when I was in, when I first started in corporate, I was 25. So it's been 25 years in the corporate sphere. When I first started in corporate, I worked for a company. They gave us access to a financial planner. I went to the financial planner. My then fiance, we were getting married the following year. Maybe we were married already. No, not yet because we hadn't bought a house. So, we had big plans. I had gone to college. I got the degree. I got the good job. I got two degrees, actually. I went on to for my master's, got the good job, was going to get married. We were buying a house. We said, oh, let's see what this financial planner has to say because, we are making good money now. Like we're making real money now. So let's see what we should be doing with it. So we went to the financial planner and it was like, oh, so when do you want to retire? And I was like, 40, 45. I had no intentions of staying in this game for so long. I really wanted to get out by 40. I was adamant about it. I knew that was just like 15 years. I was willing to give him 20, but I was like, yeah, 15, 20 years, that seems like more than enough. So he crunched his numbers, did his thing, and then he told me, oh, it's going to be $5 million. Yeah, back then in 1999, he was telling me $5 million, probably because I wanted to get out in 15 years, right? And that was when I started seeking alternate ways to retire. Clearly, I have not figured it out yet because I'm still working and I'm still trying to figure out alternate ways to retire. But his $5 million plan was totally lost on me. I just could not see how that was going to happen. And the he had done some weird math where I had to save like 80% of my salary, and basically it was crazy. His whole thing was crazy. I just thought that he was crazy. I was like, there's no way that's going to happen. So I'm not listening to you any further. We're going to find another way. That's when I found Rich Dad Poor Dad and I started to learn about passive income and alternate ways to make money. Because before then, it was just go to school and get a good job. I was like, oh, people make money from real estate. They make money from businesses. They make money um, from investments. Like I was like, wow, okay, let's start learning about all of that. And as I said, clearly, I have not learned enough because I am still in corporate and I have not retired. So fast forward to where we are today. I did enter and exit corporate. I exited 3 times already. So I had long breaks in my career, which meant long breaks in 401k. It also meant depleting 401ks to take years off in between. And so I will start by 2022 was when I started back in corporate again with zero savings, big fat zero, no 401k, no retirement money whatsoever, and a lot of debt. I don't know the exact number right now, but it was more than, it was probably about 25K in debt at the time, in credit card debt. I'm not talking about my car loan and student debt, student loan debt, but my car loan was, sorry, my credit cards, 25K in credit card debt. So that's where we started in 2022. And here we are in 2024. Back then I was 48, now I'm 50, and I'm staring down the barrel. I'm way past when I said I wanted to leave. And now I really, really, really want to leave, right? I really want to retire because one, I did hit my goal and I'm very competitive and I'm an overachiever. The fact that I missed the goal does not bode well for me. I don't like it. So there's that. And there's the whole, I'm still kind of, how can I say, deferring life is, yeah, deferring life, but I spend a lot of time, like anybody who works in corporate, right? You work a 9 to 5, you spend a lot of hours, 9 hours a day of your life doing something that, you know, I won't say too much, but I would prefer to be doing something else with those 9 hours in the day. Let me put it that way. Which I'm sure they can easily arrange, but uh, just there's a lot that I want to pursue. I want to write more. I want to speak more. There are other things that I want to do. So I have tried some things, mostly in the business world, to replace that income. And I've learned a lot over the years. But I never hit the $5 million number. And so now I am in earnest planning to retire, right? Trying to figure out what to do in order to retire. So this video by Our Rich Journey really caught my eye because I was like, so what is my number? Spoiler alert, I already figured that out, but I was like, I think it's $5 million. So this video, I want to step through how much it takes to retire. Maybe that's so you can step through it with me as we go through this. You could be in your 40s, your 50s, possibly even in your 30s if you want to retire in 15 years and you don't want to listen to the to the to the American Express financial planner. I mean, come on, talk about sucking the wind out of your sail. So here's where to start, or here's where I started, right? So now I have an idea of what I need to retire. And I also spent the last 2 years paying off that 25K in credit card debt. So moving forward, I have my car, which will be paid off in 2027, March of 2027. I'm not doing anything extra to pay that off. And my student loans, which I've been paying for 25 years now. So, but I will just continue to pay those until they're forgiven or I finish paying them off. But I'm just, those two debts will continue to be in my sphere. What I'm really focused now is on investing and income replacement because I do not think that I will amass enough cash in order to retire on a pot of money somewhere. I do think that it's going to require some income replacement. That's going to be like active income replacement. So here's how I came up with this number. So first of all, lifestyle. Um, with my current lifestyle, like if I don't change anything right now, I have like a few different numbers that I work with. With my current lifestyle, if I don't change anything right now, I would need 6 figures a year. So the two biggest expenses that I am considering for retirement is healthcare and housing, the two H's. I'm a person who likes to live in small cities. Think Raleigh, North Carolina, Lexington, Kentucky, Orlando, Florida, places, and I like to live in the center of them. Like so if I live in Raleigh, I would live in like Cameron Park or somewhere around downtown Raleigh, Oberlin Park, Five Points, that area, if you're familiar with that area. I haven't found that space yet in Charlotte. The vibe is a little bit different. It's Charlotte is like um I call it a wannabe Atlanta. I don't particularly like Atlanta, but it has this urban center. And I'm not that, I don't like urban areas. I do like midtowns. I like big towns and midtowns. So it's a little bit of a different vibe. And also the cost of housing in those places are a little bit lower, with the exception of Raleigh, because there are a lot of professionals in Raleigh. So Raleigh is actually more expensive housing wise than Charlotte is, which is astonishing to me. But one of the reasons why I chose to live in Charlotte is because of the housing expenses, that it was lower than Raleigh. And I figured it's like Raleigh. I'm learning that it's not really, but we cross that bridge when we get to it. But suffice it to say, I'm a person that likes to live in small cities, not big cities, small cities, big towns, more more precisely, big towns. So in the Orlando area, I wouldn't live in Orlando proper, but maybe Winter Park, maybe Metro West, maybe even Winter Garden, that kind of a vibe. That's a happening town. They have some other things going on, but it's not skyscrapers, tall buildings, hustle bustle. I don't like hustle. So that puts me at about a rent of about $1,800 a month for a two-bedroom apartment, right? For townhouses, now this is where it gets interesting. I could get a townhouse, purchase a townhouse here in Charlotte for a good townhouse for about 350K. In Raleigh, where I want to live, townhouses start at half a million, right? So that raises my cost of living. It raises the housing costs. Remember, we're looking at lifestyle because we're trying to figure out how much it's going to cost to live. And so right now, I think for where I want to live comfortably, it will cost me about 10K per month to live there with housing and healthcare going forward. And here is where the interesting part comes in. So, because of this, I have started to look at living outside of the US because I like living in places that are big towns. And $1,800 a month sets my expenses up if I want to live comfortably times four. That's let's say 2,000 to make the math easy. That's $8,000. That puts us at the 96K mark for the year. It's too high. And what I've learned so far in my research living abroad is that I can live anywhere outside the US for half of what I live for in the US. At least anywhere for half. In some places, a quarter. In some places, 20%. So, in order to lower my expenses, that's what I am exploring at this point is where can I live that's going to be maybe $3,000 to $5,000 a month, because the two major expenses, housing is at least half, but healthcare. So in my stints when I was not working in corporate and I was working on business instead, I got health insurance outside, like off the rack health insurance. Fortunately for me, it wasn't a time when Obamacare was already signed. But my health insurance rate, well, the time when it wasn't signed, it was $600 a month. And then when it was $250 per month. That's still pretty high for not ideal health insurance. It was good. It was more than emergency, more than catastrophic care, but it was not everything covered. I have health insurance now, and it's still, I mean, I have really good health insurance. It's still not everything covered. The thing about healthcare in the US, the cost makes living here prohibitive. And so between housing and healthcare, I can lower my like cut it down to like to like $3,000 a month as opposed to 10K a month, right? That's why I'm looking at living outside the US. That's part of the retirement plan. I can stay here, and then that makes my number whatever the number is here. So let's talk about that. So let's say it's 10K. Worst case scenario, it's 10K, right? According to the gurus, I like calling them the gurus. I'm like, I don't know where you people are, what you do, or who lives like this, but according to the gurus, they say that your withdrawal rate should be 4%. I think in this day and age, we could live with a withdrawal rate of 8% because returns are, and I'm not just talking about this season of returns, I'm just talking about the era that we're in. Returns, if we do nothing special, is 10%. And good returns are probably like 15 to 20%. Now, you don't want to use up all of your returns. You want to account for inflation. I think in years prior, they were going with bonds or dividend stocks, which pay out like about 4%. And so the burn rate was 4% of the account. I would take a risk and double that. So if I take the risk and double that and do an 8% burn down as opposed to a 4% burn down, that means that, let me do some calculating. I calculated it before, but those numbers don't look quite right. Best case scenario, I move out of the US. So my monthly expenses are 3,000. Let's make it 3,500 times 12, 4,200, 42K per year. Okay. And let's say best case scenario, it's 8%, not 4% burn down. That means I multiply 42K times 12.5. Yeah, that number is correct that I put down. So $525,000, $500,000, and I can retire comfortably outside of the US and manage my money well. That would mean that I have to accrue $500,000. Now, it will take me, let's divide that by, if I'm saving, it will take me, let's divide that by 24, 1, 2, 3. Let's say it take me 21 years to do that. That's not going to happen because of interest and not interest, but returns. So probably be half that time, which puts me at like 10 years, which puts me at 60. Now, I could do 10 more years. I could do 10 more years. The numbers will change, of course, in 10 years for inflation. And even outside of the US, the numbers are going to change. Maybe residency things will be different. I am a citizen of Trinidad as well as a citizen of the US, which means that I can go live in Trinidad with no additional residency requirements. And also, their retirement thing looks a little bit different. So there's some options there. But that's like my best case scenario. That's like very tight. I would have to come up with a lump sum of 525, which is going to take me about 10K, 10 years to accrue with good investment strategies, right? Roughly 10, 12 years. If I stay in the US though, that puts me, the number is then $3 million. Let's do it two ways. Worst case, if I stay in the US, that's 10K per month times 12 months. And also, if I stay in the US, this is the most conservative number. Let's do the burn rate at 4%, which means I multiply that by 25. And I end up there with $3 million, right? Now, people, if I'm finding it difficult to come up with the $500,000, just think about the $3 million. It can be done. A few things will have to change for the $3 million to happen. First, it will be longer for sure. According to Vanguard, they say that if I work until I am 67, I could do this, and I will have to add about, in addition to what I plan to save, another $1,500 a month between now and 67. So it's possible. It is possible, but it does extend my time in corporate to 67, possibly even 72. It's also means that I will be relying partially on Social Security, which may or may not be there. And so longer in corporate, relying on Social Security, which may or may not be there. Plus, I need to add in another $1,500 a month between now and then for that to happen. So I decided that I'm going to go with plan A, not plan B. I do have so it's good to come up with worst case scenarios to just see, but I am much more focused on the shorter term plan. And so a few things need to be put in motion. So I said that earlier before, my number now is $500,000 or $525,000 as a lump sum. That means if I stick with the lump sum. However, I think another retirement plan is income replacement, not just with investment money, but with actively generating income, which would mean YouTube channel, or I would like to start publishing maybe 1 or 2 books a year between now and then. So I'll have like 10 to 20 books that will generate some income. I may or may not do some consulting on the side, probably not while I am still working in corporate, but set up the platforms and the gather the audiences, set up platforms, start talking to people again with YouTube. I also write a blog. So I'm starting to gather people to me that will use my services going forward and have that as part of the the retirement strategy pie, that income pie. Now, what I know from being in business before is that it takes some time to create a platform, to gather people to you, to cultivate your audience. I don't like saying it like that because people are human beings, but I have not found the language yet to say, just bring my people towards me, which is part of what I'm doing here with YouTube, part of what I'm doing with my writing on the blog, part of what I do on social media when I'm there, which has been hardly ever these days. But that's part of that piece. That's definitely part of the pie for me. And so I think we were supposed to talk about how much do you need to retire? Do I need to retire? My number is 525, but if I can have half of it, that's based on $3,500 a month in income. If I can generate, let's say, $1,000 a month in income, that changes the number to 2,500 times 12 times 12.5. That changes the number to 375, which makes it a little bit easier. I have also started options trading. So I'm learning how to do that and generating income with that. So that's maybe another $1,000, right? A month. Not a lot. $1,000 a month from business ventures, meaning a YouTube channel or consulting, or from books, royalties, and then $1,000 from options trading, which I call active investing. It's not a part of the money that's just a chunk of cash that's giving you dividends or increasing in capital gains. Mostly giving me dividends. That's a different chunk of cash. So Now we're down to only needing $1,500 a month from that money's just sitting there. And that means 1,500 times 12 times 12.5, which puts me at $225,000, right? That makes it much more doable in the time that I want to be there. So here's what we'd be doing in the intervening years between now and say 60, the day that I retire. I'm not going to give it a date. I have some days in mind. Let's just say 60. I will be working full time, probably. I would prefer to keep the job that I have now. I like the people that I work with. They're wonderful. I like the company that I work for. The work, but I like the people that I work with, and I like the company that I work for. So I can stay here. I will be scouting other places outside of the US to live where my dollars can go further, meaning mostly that housing costs and that healthcare costs need to go down dramatically. I will be adding $1,000 in investing every month, in addition to my 401k that's continuing to grow, which is matched up to 6%. So that's going to continue. Plus, I'm starting next month in January. I'm going to add $1,000 and see where things go from there. It'll probably be up over the years going forward. And I will be cultivating additional income streams. I talked about options trading. I spent probably 6 months this year. I think if I do, I'd give myself a whole year of options trading. I'm now at the point where I started off options trading by using someone else's recommendations for stock picks. Probably 3 months in, I started doing my own stock picks. I've started developing my disciplines. And so I think I've got disciplines for profit and for loss now. I'm exercising a loss discipline right now. I'm learning. And what's important to me for this particular options portfolio. And so the next 6 months will be, working my disciplines and seeing what my returns are with that. And I'm also going to be building these platforms. I'm doing YouTube primarily because it monetizes on its own. So I can continue to come here, do my lives, spend time with you guys, ladies, if you're there. Well, ladies, definitely, we're here. I have the habit of saying guys and not ladies, and there may be more ladies than guys. I don't know. But I will be here building my platforms. I have been writing on Substack for about a year now, diligently every week for about a year. I was on Substack for 2 years, but definitely the last year I publish every week. You can go there. It's nnekakelly.substack.com, and NEKAKELLY.substack.com. And so that's what I'll be doing. Definitely for 2025, the focus is the additional $1,000 in savings. I'm putting that in my sabbatical fund for now, but that'll be for long-term savings. I am going to scout. I'm going to Trinidad in January, partially to scout, mostly for my parents, but I'm going to go to Barbados in October for my birthday just to see what it's like and scout it for a little bit. And like I said, I'm going to be cultivating my platforms. So, blogging platform on Substack and video platform here. And also, I'll be doing more on social media. You can find me. I am Nneka Kelly everywhere, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Substack. It's Nneka Kelly. So, all right, that's what I have for you today. Again, if you enjoyed this video, you want to know more, and even if you learn anything, please hit the like button. Absolutely hit the like button, and do subscribe, because it's going to help me build this platform, and it also helps you if you're on your retirement journey and you're following along. Let me know. because we can hang together. We're on a mission here. We are on a mission. 45 has come and gone, and I'm still here. So I am on a mission now. Okay. I feel like I was open and honest, and people from my job may see this. I think everyone is planning to retire, so it should come as no surprise. We do not plan to work there indefinitely. And so I'm just going to say that. Again, subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let me know, what are your retirement plans? I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.